Come on, bring it back. Bring it back. You getting lazy, bro. You get lazy, bro. Bring it back, man. You getting lazy, bro. All right. A little later than what I wanted, but good a time as any, right? Let me make sure that yeah, that's good. Is it still up? Yeah, it is. All right. I did quite a bit of reading, people. Oh my goodness. I never read this to y'all. I was supposed to read this one Sunday, the whole thing. So we're not going to avoid reading the other books, but I'm going to read this in its entirety within 2 days. Okay? But today I wanted to get into this. There's another one we'll get into, but I'm not going to read that right now because I'm about a quarter way in and I've been highlighting some things like certain words. You know, extraterrestrial, extra terrain. Terrestrial only means terrain, people. Extra means more. All right? Remember this. Make it a keynote. So I follow this Mexican brother. I like what he talks about. But he was talking with this one Mexican dude. You know, LA is full of a bunch of dumb-ass Mexicans, man. Thank goodness I got Spanish relatives and kinfolk down in South America who I love, who know better. So it seems like people raised up here in America or in the last couple of generations are just the dumbest sons, SOBs walking the earth. And so I said, the fuck is an African American? And so some idiot, he could be a troll. I invite them because there's no debate. I just block them. I said, and I told him also a hybrid little monkey speaks because he says he put an emoji of a monkey as an African American. Niggas beat Mexicans up 24/7. I don't want to hear about the cartels and all that because a lot of the brothers up here, I'm talking about, well, the Luciferian ones, y'all work with them. You have respect with them. But those of us who actually know their origin and their history before y'all even came here, all right, and mixed in with some of your bloodline by this fake government and corporation, DNA and everything. Wow, that was a pretty high jump. I don't have time for foolish idiots who don't want to know better, who are divisive in their own tribulations and troubles and downfall and destruction. No time. The brother's page, though, I respect what he talks about. It's based upon his opinion, his feelings, you know. I'll share the post some other day and let y'all see it. But it's not to disrespect or discredit the brother. It's, you know, it's where he's at, you know. That's why I have friends like Caramillo, my boy, Zach Ortiz. These people, I'm gonna name some people you don't know. All right, Melinda DeSoto. I know you're gonna be watching, sis. All right, she's Peruvian, but she's darker than me. Straight, long, thick hair, almost Hawaiian thick, like that mix. But she showed me pictures of her grandma, her great grandpa, and I'm like, holy smack! And she says these are the original people from up north. And then her best friend's friend, father was a Buffalo Soldier who left after Teddy Roosevelt. Some about this, I forget how the story went, but anyway, he felt so discredited because he saw the change coming, and he felt so hurt that he betrayed his kindred, along with other the word with Negro wasn't used, melanated individuals who weren't from here, who they taught how to track. Boom, T. So anyway, yes, Snu, if you come in and watch this, I'm gonna go ahead and start reading The Gods of Eden. Holy smalizzle. Listen here. Wow. I mean, as far as being informative or information, it's always puzzle pieces. You got to remember, a lot of people don't read a lot. And then some people, they follow the leader. And if their leader says, you don't read, they go, oh. When how should mean how come? Why? But you know, most people are not like lucid dreams. They're lucidly stuck. You know what I mean? So this is a pretty good. This is about William Bramley. This is pretty good. The chilling truth about extraterrestrial infiltration and the conspiracy to keep humankind in chains. Now, I don't look for a group of these books. It's not what happens. I look for certain things, anomalies in reading, and those are the things that pop up. And then there are very direct books that I've peered or gazed at that I'll seek out, and in doing that, or in lieu of that, I'll find other books that are quite, I think, fundamental, to say the least. Okay, so this one right here, when I get into this, is going to be The Search Begins, and The Search Begins is where it starts off. I guess you could say chapter 1, and it is something else. I'm gonna read a couple of the chapters. It goes: The Search Begins, Orientation, UFOs, Truth or Fiction, The Gods of Eden. Now, I was gonna jump to straight to 36, read that, and then backpedal, which wouldn't have hurt because I read a little bit of 36. And The Brotherhood of the Snake. Now, we know the order of the snake and the dragon, right? There's always, in these writings, it's like a game where these Masonic personas are those affiliated who are allowed to speak because they throw enough deception in the truth that they're permitted to exist and they're permitted to move forward and make a fiat. Remember that. Always remember that. It is pretty interesting, this book. It literally is. I'll read like 5 chapters, 6 chapters of one book, and I'll put it down and I'll go back to an old book that I read because something to call an eye, and then I'll pursue some other literary. You know, I'll say, well, it's got to be something else out here that's nowhere close to this, but is on the same dynamic. Nowhere close doesn't mean that it doesn't speak about certain particulates, but it's a dynamic. It's a whole another dynamic. It's a whole, and that's where you start. Certain things stand out, and certain individuals, they'll put in the back of their books their sources and references, and I always go to those because I want to see if they reference or source some of the other books or information that I utilize. And then with the stories that I've been told, and the fact that some of these people's stories told me stuff couldn't even read when I was traveling. Couldn't read English. If you put an A and a B in front of them, they look at you like you're retarded. And they learn English from military personnel and watching Westerns. You dig what I'm saying, Timu? Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this little bit of reading here. I'm gonna enjoy me a room temperature PBR. I got some wine down here. I got like 3 bottles looking at me. It makes you poopy black than a mug. It does. What? I check mine for health conscience. Not that I'm messed up, but here's to you guys. I wouldn't PBR. I'm not sponsoring, so I'm not really supposed to show it. So here's to you. Cheers. Room temperature is best. It gets through your system. And no, all I had was a smoothie. Yeah, smoothie and some nuts. Peanuts, people. You know. Man, I don't see why people drink that cold. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this going on, okay? Now, when you get to the funny money and marching saints in this book, I just read this a few paragraphs on each one of them. I was like, damn. And so if you haven't read this yet, well, I'm about to read it now, hon. If you're in here, let's see who's in here, right? Let me do that this time. Hey, Sue, what's up, mama? You the first. Ha! Cats don't fetch, they high for all of this. He fetches. Stop. Hey, Big Tree, what's cracking? What's going on? Anybody else? Welcome to speak. But let's go ahead and get into this. So you know I got the battle Gothic with the Tartarian building in the background. It's just magnificent. When I was in France, I had to go to, they call them cathedrals, so that way you recognize. I went to every cathedral I could go to, and I knew they didn't build none of it. Not saying there weren't those who didn't partake. I am saying, when you look at what we did here, and even during the Reconstruction era, all that we rebuilt Why did we rebuild it and nobody else? Why were they just plastering and putting up wooden beams and trestles? And then at night, here come a whole slew of Negroes to work before they go acting in the zoo and everything. Oh, you didn't know that part, did you? Oh, that's right. Oh, the pale skins aren't telling the story because they don't know the goddamn story. I like to save some things. That's right. At nighttime, them little 13 small 13 small hatters were bringing a slurry of Negroes. You can call them POWs or whatever, freemen. Oh, well, not freed men, freemen. It's different. They would come in and they would assist in reshaping. And that's why I said every time the World's Fair opened up, there was this one Negro family that always showed up before they even opened it. And it was like they met with this Negro before opening the gates to every, whether it had been San Francisco, wherever, even in Gay Paris, France. This one Negro and his family, all dialed out, top hat and all, would show up first, look everything over, and get into this big Cinderella thing, and right away. You don't believe me? I gave you a little tea. See what you can find. Let's go ahead and get into this read. It's a little lore. Oh, a little parched there. The weather's doing crazy things outside. I hope we don't get a tornado. Oh my goodness. All right, the search begins. Again, The Gods of Eden by William Bradley. When I first began researching the origins of human warfare, certainly the furthest thing from my mind were unidentified flying objects, better known as UFOs. We know that there's a group, they call them Foo Fighters. The many flying saucer magazines which once graced the newsstands were, in my opinion, not worthy of serious consideration. I also did not feel that the UFO phenomenon was terribly important, even if it was evidence of an extraterrestrial race, extra land, solving the down-to-earth problems of war and human suffering seems so much more important than arguing over whether or not little green men from Mars might occasionally be visiting Earth. I began researching this book in 1979. I was 13. However, my desire to see an end to war arose much earlier in life. At just about the age of 8, funny that 2 years later Star Wars came out in 81. Back then, war movies were, it's got references down there too, very popular in my circle of friends. You know, subject, what do we call that? When you see it, what you see on TV? When they show a lot of war stuff, what does it do to a person who has been indoctrinated, unknowingly and unwillingly? What is it called, people? Projected. Anyway, see, nobody wants to respond that quick. Anyway, no, I was asking the question. Projected what? Anyway, as he was stating, listen again, very popular in my circle of friends, and that was Vicky Cooper. War movies were very popular in my circle of friends. Our favorite game was playing Army. We all did it. I usually commanded one squad, or at least those they call Generation X, X-men and women, of kids, and my friend David led the opposition. We filled our imaginary battles with the same glamour and altruism we saw on television. Projected, still nobody. We had no greater mind control. It's another word. Right, baby. That's it. We had no greater projected programming. Anyway, we had no greater hero than the late actor Vic Morrow. Well, I remember him, who would gallantly lead his army squad to victory every week on a television series. Combat! Anybody? One Saturday afternoon, I was watching a Hollywood war movie on television. Obviously Hollywood. It was like any other war movie, except that it contained a short piece of numbing realism. For the first time in my life, I found myself looking at a documentary film footage of an actual Nazi concentration camp. Long after the images vanished off the television screen, I was haunted by the pictures of skeleton-like bodies being thrown into large pits. Like so many other people, I had trouble fathoming the souls of the Nazis. I was making those clay figures out of them. I literally was, people. Toothpicks and clay. I would make the skeleton people, pile them up until my great grandmother smacked me in the back of my head. But like again, like so many other people, I had trouble fathoming the souls of the Nazis who could shove human beings into brick ovens like loaves of bread and moments later pulled out the charred remains. Within a minute, those grainy black and white images presented a true picture of war. Behind the curt salutes and stirring oratory, war is little but a degraded psychosis, definitely. While war movies and games can sometimes be fun, the real thing is unconscionable. For centuries, scientists and thinkers have attempted to solve the riddle of why people go to war, because they don't know no better, and besides they're stupid. They're not themselves. They have observed that nearly all of Earth's creatures fight amongst themselves at one time or another, usually over food, territory, or mating. Aggression seems to be a universal behavior related to survival. Other factors also contribute to the creation of wars. Somebody stirring the pot, putting in ingredients. Anyway, the analysts must take into consideration such variables as human psychology, sociology, political leadership, economic conditions and conditioning, and the natural surroundings, the environment, projected programming. Many thinkers, however, have erroneously equated all human motives with motives found in the animal kingdom. Far from. And this is a mistake because intelligence breeds complexity. As creatures rise in intelligence, their motivations tend to become more elaborate. Now, this gets on to Darwinism, and this is where he fucks me up, but I'm going to read it anyway. And their motivations tend to become more elaborate. It is easy to understand the mental stimuli in he said a key word, mental stimuli, in two alley cats squabbling over a scrap of food, but it would be a mistake to attribute as simple a state of mind to a terrorist planning a bomb in an airport. One is decisive by choice, the other is survival by nature. Not order either, but nature as it stands right now, the psychosis. I began this study as the result of a single idea I had encountered. The concept is certainly not a new one, and at first it seems narrow in scope. The idea is nevertheless quite important because it addresses a motivation which can only be formulated by creatures of high intelligence. See, what people don't get is with us out of order, everything else falls out of order. Not necessarily that way, but yes. The idea is nevertheless quite important because it addresses a motivation which can only be formulated by creatures of high intelligence. War can be its own valuable commodity. The simple existence of violent conflict between groups of people can, in itself, be valuable to someone regardless of the issues over which people are fighting. An obvious example is an armaments manufacturer selling military hardware to warring nations, or a lending institution making loans to governments during wartime. Both can achieve an economic benefit from the mere existence of war as long as the violence does not directly touch them. What he doesn't skip or what he doesn't mention here is a sacrifice. To what? That's analytical. That's why I say you have to be careful of these individuals, these Masonic or whatever, these people at the higher level, these Jesuits. The value of war as a commodity extends well beyond monetary gain. Here we go. War can be an effective tool for maintaining social and political control over a large population, fear, destruction, even a glimpse of what happens to the body. That when you reach a different level, that's the farthest thing from your worry. Trust me, because you know what you're capable of. Anyway, in the 16th century, Italy consisted of numerous independent principalities which were often at war with one another. When a prince conquered a neighboring city, he would sometimes breed internal conflicts among the vanquished citizens. Now we know who that is, small hatters, and a fake history as well. This was an effective way to maintain, because they were killing the autonomous people of Italy, all right, and pushed them into Sicily, where they maintained fighting alongside the Kadar, I forget which tribe. They fought against it. They were tired. And that's why Sicily exists today, which it doesn't really matter now anyway. Anyway, the breed eternal conflicts among the vanquished citizens. All right, here we go. When a prince conquered a neighboring city, he would sometimes breed eternal conflicts among the vanquished citizens. And this was an effective way to maintain political control over the people, because the endless squabbling prevented the vanquished people from engaging in unified action against the conqueror. You see the division? It didn't see. I remember when the media and small hats and all little things started pushing East versus West. Isn't this America, motherfuckers? And who created this black against Mexicans or Asian or these inbred, sorry ass, worthless Spaniard and Negro goddamn lowlifes who partake and get paid by the government? Yes, these Kappa, Delta Phi's, this, that, Masonic motherfuckers, they're all up and down, all up. Yes. The lowest mother suckers on the totem pole that created all this, and then people run around stupidly following. Who created the drugs? Who taught people how to farm, grow, and use it for other than medicinal purposes? And now you see a bunch of people doing a bunch of dumb things. They don't even really know the end to the story. And if they did, they would stop, probably piss and poop their pants, and probably wouldn't move, probably would drop dead if they knew what really was going to happen to them. Not meant to be said. Anywho, it did not greatly matter over what issues the people bickered, so long as they valiantly struggled against one another and not against the conquering prince. A state of war can also be used to encourage populations to think in ways that they would not otherwise do, and to accept the formation of institutions that they would normally reject. The longer a nation involves itself in wars, that's how they slip in all these certain organizations, and then they're infiltrated by the very enemy who created the problem in the first place, to subjugate and subdue. The longer a nation involves itself in wars, the more entrenched those institutions and ways of thinking will become. And we have been at war how long and nonstop, started against us and autochthonous people around the world. And now everybody runs around dumb and ignorant as fuck, accepting narratives and identities that never existed. The more entrenched those institutions and ways of thinking will become. The most comprehensive history books contain brief references to this type of manipulative third-party activity. It is no secret, for example, that prior to the American Revolution, France had sent intelligence agents to America to stir up colonial discontent against the British Crown. It is also no secret, but we forget that the French, Dutch, English were subjugating the Irish and Scots and fighting Spain, until Spain joined in the fracas here on this soil. How else would they come up onto the shores of 1830 with their armada to bombard and fight the Caliphs? Oh, they're real. Don't listen to these goofy Negroes that speak otherwise, so they don't know no better. Trust me on this. The Vatican. Trust me. Anyway, a secret that the German military had aided Lenin and the Bolsheviks in the Russian Revolution of 1917. Throughout all of history, people and nations have benefited from and have contributed to the existence of other people's conflicts. Intrigued by these concepts, I resolved to do a study to determine just how important the third-party factor has been in human history. Something else I wanted to mention to you. In China, when England and America all went over there and was subjugating the people, they were raping hundreds of thousands of women. Hence, your pale Chinese. Yeah. The third-party factor has been in human history. I wanted to discover what common thread, if any, may have existed, because you got to remember when the Boxer Rebellion happened. What? Okay. That's what I thought. You didn't know. If any, may have existed between various third-party influences in history. It was my hope that this study would offer added insights into how and by whom history has been made. What resulted from this modest goal was one of the most extraordinary odysseys I have ever taken. The trial of investigation wove through a complex labyrinth of remarkable facts, startling theories, and everything in between. As I dug ever deeper, a common thread did emerge. To my chagrin, It was a thread so bizarre that on at least 2 occasions, I terminated my research in disgust. As I pondered my predicament, I realized something important. Rational minds tend to seek rational causes to explain human problems. As I probed deeper, however, I was compelled to face the possibility that some human problems may be rooted in some of the most utterly bizarre realities imaginable. Because such realities are rarely acknowledged, let alone understood. They are not dealt with as a result, and the problem those realities generate are rarely resolved. And so the world seems to stumble from one calamity to the next. I will admit that when I began my research, he said a key thing up before, though. He was compelled to face the possibility that some human problems may be rooted, but he also let you know that he stopped. He terminated his research. He was forced to. Now, I began my research. I will admit that when I began my research, I had a bias about what I was expecting to find. A human profit motive as the common thread which links various third-party influences in mankind's violent history. What I found instead was the UFO. Nothing could have been more unwelcome. Now, it's just that, excuse me. And I am going to give you the orientation of how this all transpires, and then we'll get into truth or fiction. I just wanted to give you that little bit right there. This read is, oh yeah, I'm doing my best not to. You see how I do that, but I'm pretty much probably right about there. Yeah, I know it ain't a lot. It might be a little more. I didn't bookmark it because I'm going chapter. This book goes along with about. I mean, it can go. They're not written together or no at the same time, but it goes. Hold on now. Let me show y'all what it goes with. Okay, we already know this is the problem behind everything, but anyway, it goes with this. It goes with this. It goes with this. It goes with this, and 2 other books down there: the Book of Giants, Nephilim, Enoch, and the Secret Influence of the Moon. God dog, boy. I'm just walking. I'm just reading like crazy, ain't it? But remember, I got to read 177, 149, 145. Remember? So we'll cover that too. I'll just go ahead and read that because I really want to read that with Atlantis again and the 3 books, which I'm waiting for the other 2 to arrive by Nos Confounded. Okay? So yeah. Here you got idiots. Man, he's not serious. You don't know. You don't want to really want to read. I'm surrounded by nothing but friggin' books. And this excellent read there, Snoo. Phenomenal so far. Now, you know how I am. I'm a stickler. And I look at things and things stand out, and some things are just like, out of here. People, how much did this book cost again? It was $11.99, $8.99, right? It was like $10, $11 or something like that, right? Shipping and all that. Guys, if you can get it. Excellent. Here's looking at y'all. It'd be the only one I drink. I gotta keep my kidneys. What was that? Let me see. Hey, B-Tree, Midget MC. Yes. T. Hines, salute. What's cracking? One like or a human like from other sides of ice walls. I wouldn't doubt it. I don't doubt anything. They want to keep us conflicted and confusion. Would I say yes to this and that? They found so much over there in Antarctica and beyond. Please, trust me. Just trust me on this. War also promotes gentrification, aka people relocation and extermination. With the navigator too. Yes, definitely. And there's a bunch of other books I have. Tartaria explains a lot. Tartaria is old, and is it the first? No, they haven't even uncovered. There are structures that go there are buildings that go so far down, like 10, 11, and 12 levels, like they kept building on top of it, attempting to reclaim. Just built right on top, knowing the energy was even stronger from the depths. There are literally cities under the ground that these bastards are running around in. Have connected tunnels and byways and everything. Because they know that the majority of people here don't know that these grand cathedrals have about 20 levels underneath them. Dead ass. Serious. They always want people to believe, oh yeah, like New York, oh yeah, the water is in the swamps in Florida and Georgia. No. The swamps in Georgia didn't hardly even exist until they started chopping down some of the mammoth trees. That's why so many trees grow with roots into the water and stick up to the canopy. And nobody sits there with rationale and common sense can relegate themselves to this. So what do the lying scientists come along? They create a name for the tree. And they say, this is how the tree grows. And then what do people do in mainstream and in curriculum? They accept the narrative given. Like these dumb doctors and these dumb police and everybody else who don't know laws and this, that, and other. The police officers I worked with, who I worked with as far as hand in hand and getting into shape that need to lose 20, 50 pounds, and they knew my injuries, and they was like, yo, Red, just tell us what to do, we'll do it, man. You know what? I'm gonna get down and do it with you. And they like, how you keep going, man? I'm like, well, you got to get 50 more of this, and you got to get 20 more of that, and we got to get the medicine ball going, trunk twist. You're gonna kill yourself. It's all right. Make the best of the life you have. And he catches up. But yeah. And I always would sit down and I would open my tablet, Black's Law Dictionary. Do you know what legal is? Do you know what this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah? Not to put too much out here. I says, what is the oath you took last time before you saying how you going back now? The Constitution. So what's your moral subjugation? You left because of your moral subjugation, right? And also hardship. Death, blah, 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 wife, blah, blah, blah. And it was too much to, And yeah, but I'm ready to go back. And I'm like, okay. And again, you took an oath. And what was the oath to? And so we would read the Bill of Rights. We read the Constitution and how it applies. If it's a sovereign nation, that means the citizens are sovereign, not the goddamn government. The government's put there to govern, not govern the people, but govern for the people and make sure the roadways are safe and the buildings and everything else, and that the people are getting the proper jobs. They're not there to tell, oh, you're black, so you can't work and all this other goofy stuff. That's the small hat crew that you created. You created that. And until people wake up and become wiser of the lesser and smarter than the few, then nobody will know shit. They'll keep running around in the lucid dreams and the dumbitude of the yard, coloring their hair purple, green, and gray, and mauve, and fake brunette, and all that other yellow and white, and all that, looking like some fucking anime that most of their stories come off of religious context. But who am I to say? There's no way. When we learned karate and then kung fu, we was kicking everybody's ass, all the China, everybody. The Chinese was like, no, don't even come in here with that. We want to come in and get some rooftop fighting. We be trying to beat the shit out of everybody. I remember, I was part of it. Whooping up on a motherfucker that been studying all his life this kung fu, and I'm over there just street fighting with it, just fucking them up. I know what I'm telling the truth. Like I said, these books are phenomenal. There is so much information. All right, and I was going to read some more, but I said, no, I want to get your mouth wet. I want you to come back. So we'll do this in the evening. And snoo, you come on, okay? Excellent friggin' read. Now, regardless of when they say the chilling truth, they must capture you. They must bring you in. Remember, I'm writing the screenwrite, so I have to make sure that whoever looks at this book, I ain't gonna show you the cover that I came up with. There's a few of ideas I came up with. It's got to be able to grab you and bring you in. And most people are gonna be like, that nigga reads a lot of books. He knows a lot of shit. Y'all gonna jump on it. I could take right now and put out a little small paperback with about 40 pages, and y'all be like screaming, yo, Red. I'll be like, yo, it's $10. Yo, son, I got my website's up. It's gonna be on that. I'm gonna sell it through Etsy. Fuck Prime. You see what I'm saying? I could do that right now. I'm not gonna do that. So much more to write. And I'm not selling that shit, no fucking small hat motherfucker either. What's that? Hey, what's up, Mikey Mike? What's going on, baby boy? We learned Kung Fu from some Chinese, but we wasn't trying to look at like them. No, not at all. Well, I have Chinese cousins, but you know, I don't badmouth some of my kinfolk. The ones in China, the ones that have been brainwashed, no different from the niggas here and the Spaniards. And no, I got those who I love, but you got jacked up people in every so-called identity crisis, motherfuckers. You know, they're just stupid and nothing. What's that? Right? Oh, well, you better hit that, goddamn. What's cracking, everybody? So, anywho, I just want to come on and give that. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, and you already know I'm gonna sit back and sip this one little beer. I can't do no more than that. And besides that, it's like going on 7 o'clock, man. You know what I'm saying? Tribe, you know already. You already know, man. And we're gonna get this going in the morning, in the AM again. We're gonna go ahead and break loose. Let the cannons, fill the cannons with the black powder and the cannonballs, and we're gonna get the wick ready and send them off. You dig what I'm saying? What is that? Catherine's page is. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So hey, man, I appreciate everybody coming in, man. I really do. I wish people would get it together and stop being so divided and so goddamn stupid, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Gods of Eden, honey. Take your time. You're typing fast. Slow down. I know. Slow down. And besides that, H and G, I think they're right next to each other, if I remember right. But anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Share this. You know what to do. I appreciate everybody. I really do. And I hope you enjoyed that little read. I said I was going to. Yeah, because I know you like this. It's like you. You know it, baby girl. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off, y'all. I appreciate y'all taking the time to check it out. We're gonna do it again tomorrow evening. We're gonna get into other books and read those. And you get ready to leave. Yeah, I'm coming off. Yeah, I'm gonna sit here, and I'm actually reading this right now. Again, as you can see, where the thing is right there is actually where I put the tab at. That's where I'm at right now. So, whoo, this one. I don't know if I put it on mirror. Hold on, let me see if it's on mirror. No, I don't think I did. Is it? Close it off. Yeah, okay, it's good. I don't think it's on mirror. But anywho, you know what this is? The Encyclopedia of the Ancient Giants in America. And that's North and South. I hate that North and South bullshit, but you know what I mean. So, it's a fabulous frigging read. It really, really is. 888 human giants in 47 states, mass graves of ancient dwarves, and I told you all about Mississippi. I told you about the Gazette. And when everybody on Facebook were like, where did he find this? And all of a sudden I was shadow banned. Also because I wouldn't debate with idiots, and trolls, and agents paid to be retarded and stupid, not knowing how their end's going to be. Fairies and paranormal activity at burial mounds and earthworks. That's right, fairies. You know, in Avatar, the tree and those little things floating around, and giant mummies. So, let me get my ass off of here, and we will. No, we're gonna read you one. 148. Yeah, what pages I gotta read to y'all? I'll read those tomorrow. This over here. That's book. All right. So again, I'll catch y'all tomorrow. What was that, Snoop? Okay, peace. See you later. You already know. Number love, guys.